Welcome back to Weekly Sketchbook. On this week's episode, we're interviewing Demetrius Neal, aka Meachy. He is a commercial photographer from St. Louis and a good friend of RC's. Let's get into the episode.
You know, there are certain rules and codes that I live by that keeps me authentic.
Yeah.
There's no amount of money in the world that can make me trade on anybody that haven't traded on me. None. Nobody can ever do to make me be non-trustworthy. No amount of money, no amount of secrets, no amount of nothing. If you have my trust, you got that trust to the end of time until you destroy it. And it's just like those little key things that growing up in my lifestyle and the way I grew up, I kept with me. I made sure no matter what room I walked into, I kept honesty with me and joy and happy and love and, you know, friendship and like being able to be a person to diffuse a situation honestly by how I look with the words in my mouth. You know what I'm saying? To make people be like, okay, this guy's really, he's really who he is. Like, you know, because everybody has like a dark side if you push them there.
Yep.
We all do. No one's far away from that. But I practice very hard on consciously making the choice to be happy. Because it's already enough crazy stuff going on in the world to be sad about. There's so much going on, man. As creators, writers, animators, photographers, just division, you know, content, it's all these things that's going on that would divide every last one of us in this room. But there's also one thing that keeps us coming back in this room as different people from different walks of life. And that's just love and friendship and genuinely caring about another person and what they've been through and how can you help them go to the next level? How can they help you go to the next level? Because my focus is on photography so much.
Right.
You know, like it's my baby. It's like the thing that gets me up in the morning.
Yep.
Outside of my kids. Like I look forward to doing this every day, you know. And it's so crazy because like this is actually kind of cool because it's part of my process. Because this whole entire time we've been talking, I ain't been shooting. But once we stop, the energy in the room is going to carry over to the next hour or so of me and RC shooting.
Yeah.
And the images that we're going to capture, you're going to feel them.
Right.
You're going to feel it because the energy's in the room. Because there's 3 people in this room that are speaking their truth. And there's energy in truth. There's power in truth. If you can speak your truth, you can move anything you want to. Yep. Because it's the truth. You know, there's nothing that can come back and bite you. Say, nah, Tyler, you lied about that, man. That's not correct. It's like, no, this is correct because this is my truth. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't have to lie about it. So, man, yeah, I just like hijacking people's things, but it just, anytime I have an opportunity to talk about faith and sacrifice and belief and believing in yourself, I'm all for it.
Right.
Because I just think that we need to hear it more often.
Yeah, and that's what this podcast is about. And we've talked about bringing on guests, but we hadn't like planned it yet. But I think it's great that it like just happened naturally and you were here and you had something to say. And since it's so, like you said, it's your truth, it's something you believe in, it makes sense that it just needs to come out. And when you have the opportunity to say it, you got to say it. Yeah, man. Like people ask me all the time on Facebook and Instagram, like, dude, what keeps you going? Like, what, like, why, like, we know your story. A lot of people know my story. Like, why are you doing this? Like, I tell them, man, it's because I wake up every day and choose to do it. I make a conscious choice to keep fighting when most people give up. Yeah. You know, and that's it, man. Like, it's a conscious choice, bro.
You know, when you're talking about coming in and catching the vibe and like, we didn't plan any of this and it was like, hey, let's throw you in the mix, you know, like let's get out of our seats and let's just huddle around this microphone and have a good conversation. Like it became the idea of this podcast. I know Tyler had a few ideas that he jotted down and we started out talking about walking, but I mean, it all kind of melts together. It all is a part of it, you know?
No, like, I get you.
Yeah. You got to process your thoughts. You know?
That's why I apologize to Tyler, man, because I know he's like a very structured person.
No, that's how this partnership started. Is RC was looking for somebody that could kind of tie everything in because he's
just everywhere.
Yeah,
just kind of like, ooh, this is pretty. You know,
so whenever we meet and whenever we have these get-togethers, I always come in with some things that like I think we should talk about and I think we can talk about. And I'll just start him on an idea and we'll kind of go back and forth. And then if that starts to kind of run out of gas, I'll just go to the next thing. That's kind of how it is. And that's what the idea of this podcast is we can have things that we want to talk about.
Yep.
And I think it's important to have something to start with. Just like you said, like when you come in and you start taking pictures, they're test pictures. When I start writing the first 100, 200 words, it's just me getting going. And you do the same thing with drawing. Just like talking like this, you can't just start from a stop and then go to a full sprint. You got to warm up. So having something to talk about is great, but when you can take an idea and then go to a whole new place with it, that's where it gets to be the really interesting conversation.
I mean, I 100% agree with you on that, Tyler. Like, I just think it's super cool to have a dope conversation with no boundaries.
Right.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is there's nothing restricting us. Color, sex, gender, nothing. Clothes, neighborhoods, money. We just three creatives having a conversation, man.
Yeah.
Like having a real conversation about being creatives.
Yeah.
Whether one's from Ohio or you're from, where you're from, Tyler.
Iowa.
Iowa and me from St. Louis. We're three creatives in one room talking about being creative. I think that's the superpower that creatives have, is we can change perspectives.
Yeah.